Hey, Greg Silva from Rainmaker. We're having another discussion on teaching techniques, getting ready for our virtual Instructor College. I remember back in the 80s when I was a student of Ed Parker. He was teaching a seminar in Connecticut, and the topic was rearrangement. And what he was trying to do is show us 4 basics and then how we can rearrange those 4 basics to come up with 24 combinations. The way he taught was really neat because he didn't use the terminology of the technique. He simply taught by numbers. And we probably had 100 people in the seminar. And that one technique of teaching by the numbers instead of by the terminology made it really easy for everyone to pick up. So it was like 1 was a block, 2 was a strike, 3 was a palm heel, and 4 was an inward elbow. So he would just say 1, 2, 3, 4. Everyone just do 1, 2, 3, 4. It'd say 1, 4, 3, 2, and everyone do 1, 4, 3, 2. It just made learning really, really easy. And again, this was with maybe 100 adults. I mean, granted, they were adults and they were probably mostly higher belts. But again, everyone learned the concept real easy because learning the technique was real easy. It wasn't a lot of memorization. And I went back and I was teaching classes. This was back in Connecticut, probably 50 kids per class. And one of the things that I really want to make sure was I understood how kids learn. I wanted to make it as easy as possible so everyone felt good about their training. And this is one of the things we talk about a lot in Instructor College. It's not what you teach. It's not just about how you teach, but it's about how you empower students or how you make students feel good. If a student feels good about themselves, they like the training, and they're going to come back, they're going to be more consistent. Consistency and repetition is going to further enhance the skills, and now you're training students for life, or at least till they get their black belt. So when I taught forms, instead of saying, hey, everyone step back with their left foot, we're going to do a right inward block, this is a hammering inward block, I wouldn't have all that terminology. I would go 1, 2, 3, 4. And then they would just follow me. Very similar to what Ed Parker was doing when he was talking about rearrangement. And I don't know who I was listening to at the time, but I was listening to some seminar on teaching, and they were just talking about how easy it is, even for a child, to remember their phone number. And I thought, that's pretty unique. What is it about that? Well, it's only 10 numbers. And what makes it really easy to learn a phone number is you chunk it down. You do the prefix, first 3 numbers, then the next 3 numbers, and then the last 4 numbers. In other words, 860-677-1403. So if I could do 860, well, I've got 1/3 of my memorization down. It was the same thing when we did our forms. So if we did the forms, it was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Easy. The kids could memorize it, no problem. We did that for the first month of learning. The second month of learning, we did with chunking. So now we did it in segments. So when I said segment 1, they would go 1, 2, 3. I say segment 2, 4, 5, 6. Segment 3, 7, 8, 9, 10. Made it very, very easy for the kids. And when I went down to Florida, my classes were even bigger. I still use the same strategy. So you just might want to take a look at that, try that. Maybe you're doing that already, but it's a great technique, and I got to give Ed Parker credit for creating that. In fact, I did see a second person back in the 80s or early 90s. Carl Mascarenas, who was a kickboxer from New Jersey. He was doing a teaching seminar at an Instructor College. He was teaching kickboxing combinations, and I believe he went through 1 through 8. Each one was like 1 was a jab, 2 was a cross, 3 was a hook, and so he had 8 techniques, and then he would just rearrange it. But it made it really easy for the people in the seminar to learn that technique. Great strategy. Another thing about making things easier, and I think making things easier is really important since most of you now are teaching live classes, Zoom classes, or a combination of both. And when you have a child doing a Zoom class, you really can't go over and grab his shoulders, grab his hands, and make adjustments. He's just got to be able to pick it up. And as we know, kids learn 3 different ways. They're visual. In other words, they see you do it, and then they follow. Some kids are auditorial, meaning that they learn better if you explain the technique and you break it down. And then we have people that are kinesthetic. You show them, you explain it to them, they still have some difficulty, so now you've got to get and move their hands and go, yeah, now I know how it feels, and they can pick it up. So with Zoom, we're kind of limited. We can do the visual, we can do the auditorial, we can't do the kinesthetic. But now we have kids in our classrooms, kids on Zoom, so we want to make it easy for everyone. I really think it's important to get the kids moving as fast as you can. So I don't mean really throwing a fast punch or fast block. What I mean is get them moving without you explaining for a long time, without you demonstrating for a long time, just doing it. Once they do it, now they're doing motion and it's connecting, and they'll be able to learn even better because now you can take time and work on the different strategies. If it's speed, it's power, it's rotation, it's hitting with the proper knuckles, it's having good posture, whatever it's going to be. So try to get them moving as simple as possible. And this is kind of neat. Paul Garcia and I started Instructor Colleges way back in the 90s. And we started by saying it's really important when you teach a technique, first you have to sell it. Then you have to demonstrate it. And then while you demonstrate it, verbalize it. So now we're hitting all the learning strategies. So we would start by doing, maybe you're doing a jab. It's okay, when we do a jab, it's one of the most important things in our sparring arsenal because it's a fast punch, it comes real quick, it's with the lead hand, so it's a closer. And this is how you do it. Make sure your hand's here. And when we're demonstrating it, we want to rotate, then we turn another way, explain it, demonstrate it again, then demonstrate it at full speed. So with all that, it took a few minutes before the kids actually started moving. What we teach now is that adults learn from information, kids learn from movement. So adults want all those techniques. Kids just need to do it, okay? If they're just doing it, now all of a sudden they start feeling better about themselves. Okay, I got this. We're doing Instructor College in Morristown, North Carolina. It was at Balanced Martial Arts. It was really neat. Scott Axman was there, and Scott Axman started saying, hey, let me show them how to get people moving right away. So it was really neat. So, we kind of expected him to go up and do some talking, and he stood in front of the class and goes, do this, and all of a sudden it goes, go. All the kids just did it. So kind of the moral of the story, it was really fun. We just kind of looked at each other and goes, hey, that's even easier than we were doing it. It's even easier than the numbers. So just a demonstration, get them to do it. Kids follow real easy. When I talked about the learning strategies, there's 3 of them, but the biggest one is visual. Almost all kids learn visually, especially kids that want to do martial arts. They're the ones excited and they like that type of movement. So on your next Zoom class, you're trying to do a technique, say, do this, and all of a sudden just say, go, and watch them do it. Now you can break it down. Have them have fun doing it, which again, that's the empowerment. If the kids are trying to strategize and figure, what's he trying to talk about? How's he trying to demonstrate it? I hope I can do it that good. No, just get them moving. Once you got them moving, now see everything, correct something. So in other words, as instructors, we tend to watch people move, watch do techniques, and all of a sudden, it's like, man, they're doing 15 things wrong. We try to correct 15 things. No, see everything, correct one thing, go on a little more, see something else, correct one thing. This way, all the kids feel, okay, I'm not doing all those things wrong. It's just one little thing, and he's correcting me on that. I can do that. So that's our strategy for today for teaching. A couple things we did. Break it down by the numbers, not just by the technical terms. Try to keep your forms, your combinations into groups of 3 or 4. Again, a little kid can memorize his phone number, so we know he can remember a sequence of 10. So if you have a form, show him the first 10 moves, he's going to be able to pick it up. And instead of just from 1 to 10, break it up just like it is a phone number, a segment of 3, a segment of 3, a segment of 4, and then pretty soon they can put all those 3 segments together. And kids learn by movement, adults learn by information. So if you're doing a Zoom class or live class, get the kids moving. Get them to believe, hey, I can do this stuff. I'm pretty good at this stuff. Hey, I must be pretty smart. It's not what you teach or how you teach it. It's how you empower your students or how you make your students feel good after their experience at the school. That's the secret for retention. That gets them coming back for more. Hope you enjoyed this. Again, this is brought to you by Rainmaker Business Solutions and Rainmaker Software. Thank you.